Good afternoon, my students. Today I have got Mr. Sushil from Saskatchewan Polytechnic. Hello, sir. How are you?
Hi, good afternoon. I'm doing well, thank you. How about
Uh,
you?
Same here, sir. Thank you so much for that. Sir, it is good to see you on board today. We have been trying to get in touch with Saskatchewan Polytechnic for you because it has been a long time and there are a lot of students. They have got a lot of questions related to the college, their intakes, how the deferment policies is going on, what is the requirement, because Saskatchewan is one of the leading destination these days among the students. So we thought that we should have you on board and we should have a detailed discussion about the college. And if there is any interested students they want to apply, they can discuss their queries and they can proceed ahead with the institute.
Thank you, Nisha. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me here today for on EduWings. Yeah, I'm very pleased to be here and I'll be happy to answer any questions. To all the students out there, 𝗧𝗵𝗺𝗲𝗹𝗃, good afternoon. All of you, I hope you're all staying safe and doing well and keeping healthy.
Yes, sir. So we would like to know what is the admission requirement for Saskatchewan Polytechnic. And apart from that, first of all, kindly brief us about the institute and the programs that are being offered by the institute.
Well, surely. A little bit before the institute, I would like also to talk about the province of Saskatchewan, although people are aware, I think, mostly where Saskatchewan is. But for those who may not be very sure, Saskatchewan is a province towards the western side of Canada, towards west. It's a province which is actually between, like our western neighbor is Alberta, our eastern neighbor is Manitoba. So we are between Manitoba and Alberta. It's a smaller province with 1.1 million population, 11 lakhs. That seems smaller, but lots of opportunities, especially lots of opportunities because of the reason that Saskatchewan economy is doing very well. And just as we know that Canada requires a lot of young people to come and replace the aging workforce, Saskatchewan is also in a similar situation. And what happens is that most of the time students are, going to the bigger cities, the larger provinces like Ontario, British Columbia, Toronto, all these places. And so now they're finding that more opportunities, that the opportunities there are getting smaller because there's huge competition. Whereas in Saskatchewan, we are not receiving enough numbers to fulfill our manpower requirement. So there are enough opportunities available in Saskatchewan, and we are seeing a large number of students now coming to Saskatchewan and uh, also getting employed. We are the largest public college in the province of Saskatchewan. We have four campuses across four different locations in Saskatchewan, namely Regina, Saskatoon, uh, Moose Jaw, and Prince Albert. Now, what happens is that most of the time, these are independent campuses. Each campus is having dedicated facilities, services, everything that is required for a good campus in Canada. Uh, the only thing is that each campus has certain programs for which they are set up. So, if a student, for example, is choosing a business diploma, they have to go to Moose Jaw campus. Okay. In the Prince Albert campus, the only option with business diploma is the management specialization. Otherwise, somebody wants to do business diploma with marketing, it's only in Moose Jaw. Having said that, there are a few programs which are available across more than one campus. In that case, a student can choose a campus of their choice. So that's how it works. But each campus is independent. So there's no main campus or satellite campus or regional campus, things like that. Uh, we deliver programs. We are a comprehensive college. We deliver programs across all fields of study. So, business, information technology, engineering, mining, construction, health sciences, human services, transportation. So, we have a huge range of programs, both certificates and diplomas, a couple of applied degree completion programs as well. We have uh, we UG programs, and we have now quite a few PG certificate programs, which are really, really amazing and awesome.
Okay. So, as we came to know about the institute, so first of all, what is the IELTS requirement, PTE,
Yeah.
TOEFL, IBT, and Duolingo requirement for the institute?
Yeah, that's very important. Our IELTS requirements are a little different from other colleges, I would say, in some sense. We require an IELTS of 6.5 overall, both for undergraduate and postgraduate programs. So, UG diploma, for example, diploma in business requires 6.5 overall, but we do accept one band at 5.5. So that is an acceptability we have. We accept PTE academic. Overall score of 63 is required with no individual component less than 50, 50. We are accepting Duolingo currently with an overall of 105. So that's those are our requirements currently with respect to English language. So a student, if they are waiting for IELTS, or it's taking time to get a date and all that, which happens normally, they can take a Duolingo, PT Academy, whichever they feel comfortable or easily available, and then get the required scores, and they can apply with that to our college.
Okay. So, is there any specific like module in which the student can go for 5.5, like
No,
reading, writing, listening,
no.
or any of the module?
As of now, there's no such specific restriction. It's any module it can be. Yeah.
Okay. So, like, what is the requirement, backlog requirement, if we talk about the graduate certificate courses? Because as we know that there are a lot of graduate certificate courses that Saskatchewan Polytechnic is offering. So, I just want to know what is the actual like requirement backlog overall percentage the student needs to have, and like if it is in case of 4 years is different or 3 years bachelor degree is different.
So I'll just back up. So I'll just list out some of our very, I would say, high demand and very good postgraduate certificate programs. In the School of Business, we have postgraduate certificate in business management, a postgraduate certificate in financial services, a PG certificate in supply chain management. These are very, very popular programs, and get filled up very quickly. The entry requirement for all these programs, and we also have PG in business accountancy. The entry requirement for these programs is any bachelor's degree, any. So it could be a 3-year bachelor degree, it could be a 4-year bachelor degree, it could be BCom, BA, BTech, whatever. So any bachelor degree we accept for our PG in business management, PG in supply chain management, and PG in financial services or business accountancy. So that we also accept distance learning degrees, for example, from IGNU or School of Distance Learning, which are attached to universities today. So universities have their own School of Distance Learning, they call them. So we accept degrees from those universities and mostly like state universities. So for example, Punjab University School of Distance Learning, Punjabi University, GNDU would accept, Delhi University. I'm not so sure about private universities' distance learning degrees. That I'm not very sure here today. We
Okay.
also do, yeah, we also do not have any restrictions, I would say, again, around a student who has a longer academic gap. I mean, more than 5 years, which I believe most of the colleges, institutions have like a 5-year limit, that there should not be a gap of more than 5 years from your bachelor's. We do not have any such restrictions. So students who have been working probably after their bachelor's for a longer period are also eligible to apply as long as they meet the entry requirements. This is very important for you to know. But of course, you from EduWings, your counselors will have to look at each student's profile, for visa purposes. That's a different story. And we also, like you mentioned, backlogs. Today, we do not have any limitation, or I would say we're not looking at backlogs in that sense. I would say it's not that we just need the credential. As long as you have the degree from a recognized university, you can apply to these programs. There is no GPA requirement minimum as well as of today. But of course, for backlogs and all those things, the visa guys will, of course, be looking at those things. So that's a different story. But as far as applying is concerned, that's okay. Our graduate certificates in IT, I'll just mention here, we have projects management, technology management, and cybersecurity PG. These programs, we accept a 3-year bachelor's degree in IT, for example, BCA, BSc IT, BSc computer science. So these are acceptable. But then we have PG Software Developer, PG Artificial Intelligence Data Analytics, and PG Cloud Computing Blockchain. In those, we require a 4 years bachelor's degree in IT. So that's the only difference.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for the information. But here I would like to ask you, as we were talking about the private university, is NIOS Open School Board is
Yeah, yes.
accepted by?
Sorry. Yeah. Yeah, we accept NIOS. Sorry, I didn't mention it because we're talking about grad certificates. We accept NIOS.
Okay, so because we nowadays we normally get the student from NIOS and even from the Punjab School Education Board open schooling students. So will they be eligible to apply?
As of today, they are eligible. If it changes in future, I can't determine that. But as of today, they can apply.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. We have got one question. Sorry, we have got one question from Simran Kaur. She wants to know what is the tuition fee range for the program, but she hasn't mentioned anything
No,
specifically.
no worries. Our tuition fee ranges from 16,000 to 20,000 Canadian dollars per year.
Okay. Uh, so apart from this, if we talk about any co-op programs, sir, here I would like to know: is there any type of co-op programs which is being offered by the Saskatchewan Polytechnic?
Yeah, we do have co-ops in our undergraduate programs, diploma. So business diploma, I think accountancy, HR, a couple of others specializations do have co-ops. Some other programs also have co-ops. Not all programs have co-ops. Our PG programs do not have co-ops or internships.
Okay. So what about the deferment? Because normally the students are scared. Like there are a lot of students those who want to know about the deferment policy of the institute because it is a very common phenomena these days due to pandemic.
Yes.
Like student has to get a defer from one intake to another because of the delay of the result or some of the other consequences. So what is the deferment policy which is being followed by the institute?
Yeah. So what happens is our deferral policy is very straightforward that you can defer within up to 5 days from the start of classes. So, for example, January start was 4th of January classes started. So, students could defer up to 8th January.
Okay.
So, up to 8th January, they could defer without any penalty. If they didn't defer by 8th January, then they would liable for penalties. So, that's important for students to understand. Uh, I know currently there's a lot of stress because visas are getting delayed, visa decisions are not coming. So students don't know; they are in panic. What should I do? We suggest that if you feel that your visa is getting delayed, for example, we have a small March intake upcoming now. Now, in that intake, if which is starting on the 7th of March, if students are unable to reach and be in the class on 7th of March, they need to defer. We're not giving any extensions. That's important. We are doing physical on campus classes. There is no online option. So if students cannot make it to the first day of classes, we strongly recommend they should defer as quickly as possible, not wait till the last date. Okay. Because if
Okay.
they don't defer in time, then there'll be penalties. Then tuition will start getting deducted from their money. They'll start getting deducted from the deposit.
Okay. Students recent just now, as the search shared with us, that there is no online classes provision in Saskatchewan Polytechnic. The student, those who get admission and get their visa for the institute, they have to fly and they have to go for the offline classes itself once they are in Canada. So apart from this, sir, there is a like again a question for you. Like there are a lot of gaps. The student now, as you are aware of the situation which is going on presently, there are a lot of students those who were not able to apply after 2019 and 20. So what is the gap accepted by the institute? Like is
No,
2019 student
I think
accepted?
I mentioned earlier, we have no issues around gaps. So as long as student is meeting the entry requirements, they can apply.
Mhm.
So we have no issues
No,
around gaps.
okay, so
No,
it
we
is
have no
both for
issues.
the bachelor's and the undergraduate student.
Yeah, anything, any application they can make. As long as they're meeting the requirements of the program, we have no issues with the gaps. Of course, I think these couple of years, even immigration is looking considerately at these things because these are challenging times.
Okay. So what about the support system which is being provided by the institute? Like if when the student is there in Canada, someone to pick like airport pickup, accommodation, and apart from that, after completing the course, what about the placement options?
We do offer in our fall semester some airport, not pickup, I would say some airport meet and greet. We give those dates to students. So if they're, in that orientation week, a week before the start of classes, if students are arriving, we have student ambassadors and volunteers at the main airports, Saskatoon and Regina, who will, meet them and familiarize them. We do not have on-campus accommodations or hostels, so the student has to make their accommodation arrangement before they fly in. We do not have any accommodation arrangement. Pick up and drop we do not offer, but like I said, yes, on those few days we are stationed at the airport waiting for students to come in. We may, help them go to their respective places so that they're comfortable. So that's what we do.
Yeah. Okay, sir.
And of course,
So,
regarding placement, after they have subsequently completed their programs, we have a placement co-op and placement department who work with the students to prepare them for jobs, help them to search for jobs. We do a lot of activities around these, job opportunities. So we, being the largest polytechnic, working with all the employers in the province, we have a very strong relationship with employers who come to the campus. We do job fairs. Everything is done. Our grad placement rate has been 94%. So that speaks a lot about us.
and apart from this, what is the offer letter turnaround time? Because normally after applying the offer letter, student gets impatient. So, what is the turnaround time for the offer letter?
It's roughly 3 weeks. 3 weeks is the turnaround time. Usually we do it in a faster time, but sometimes peak times, like right now we have some peak times going on because we are doing the deferrals first. They are taking priority because students want to defer. So refunds, deferrals get priority. But yes, within 3 weeks we do issue. If it goes beyond 3 weeks, then students should contact us, or you should contact on behalf of them to find out why it's getting delayed. But that's the upper limit for us, 3 weeks.
Okay, and what is how much like time it takes for the student to when they apply for the refund, they receive the refund if there is any visa refusal, and what is the amount being deducted?
So, visa refusal. Now, I want to send out a message to everyone who is hearing, and of course, you already know the rules. Uh, Visa refusal, we deduct only $200 for refund as administrative charges. Rest is all refunded back. But there's a clause now that they have to apply for the for the refund within 10 working days of having received the refusal letter. So, what happens is students may receive a visa refusal and they say, okay, let me think about it. What should I do? Should I defer? Should I apply again? Should I do what? That's why we give them those 10 days. We give them those, 10 working days means almost 2 weeks. So we give them 2 weeks to think about it. What do you want to do? But then they need to make that decision. And if they want to apply for a refund, they have to do within those 10. Beyond that, then there's a very high penalty. So, if a student sits on his decision for a month and after a month sends us, okay, now I want to do, that's not going to work. So, because what happens is once we have a refusal, information and student refunds, ask for refund to fill it up, we have to offer it to some other student. So if we keep waiting, that's not good. But yeah,
Yeah,
it's only $200 is the deduction.
okay. So, what is there any scholarship that is being provided by the institute to the students?
We do not have any entry scholarships, but students, once they join, based on their first semester performance, they have access to certain scholarships and financial awards given out by a lot of organizations and people to students of Saskatchewan Polytechnic.
Okay. And what is the application process? The offer letter, as we have normally seen, the offer letter which is received at the first go, and the what is the second time after making the tuition fee deposit, the student receive the letter of acceptance. Is it mandatory for the student to pay the amount within the desired time which is being mentioned on the offer letter for the letter of acceptance, or the student can request for fee payment extensions as well?
Yeah. So what happens is we don't give two LOAs. We give LOA in the very beginning itself. The only thing we do not give out, or what we wait for, is the tuition deposit. The date of issue of offer letter, 30 days are given for the student to make the initial deposit, which is $10,000. We're not asking for the full fees at that point, $10,000 to reserve a seat. Students can ask for an extension. I'm seeing nowadays it's getting declined because of huge rush. Because if we give extension to students, that means there are students who are waiting for that seat. So we don't usually work on that. So nowadays, 30 days means they have to make that initial deposit. And I think, to be honest, $10,000 initial deposit should be possible, and that's what students should know when they're applying, that they should arrange that kind of money at least for the initial deposit. I do understand bank loans and all those things take time, but if they can make that initial deposit meanwhile from their own funds, then it does help. But getting extensions is very difficult. They can of course send a request. I'm not saying you cannot request, but it depends from program to program where seats are very limited and there's huge rush. We may not give. Programs where seats may be still available, we might. So it's a decision of the registrar's office, the admission team.
Okay. So, sir, apart from this, is there anything else which you would like to add from your end for the students, those who wish to apply for Saskatchewan Polytechnic?
Yeah, I would quickly like to say that currently we are accepting applications for fall. So not most, all our programs are available in fall. That's the main intake. In January, we have very few, very limited programs, mostly post-grad certificates. And we are accepting applications right now for January 2023 also. And we have started a March intake, a very small intake, just 2 or 3 programs. So even March 2023 is open right now. Another thing I wish to tell the students, and of course you already know, is that we do give conditional offers, but only if students are waiting for their results. They should but be having the IELTS or any other English language score at the time of applying. Without any valid English language score, English language proficiency test score like IELTS or anything, the application will be rejected. So we do not accept, whether it's Duolingo, IELTS, whatever, they can apply. But we give conditional offer, but not without IELTS. So if student is, some colleges I know they accept you have registered for IELTS or whatever, they accept that. We do not. We need the score. That's it.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir, for your time. And it was a lovely session with you because the students were having a lot of queries. Especially, there are a lot of students, those who are about to appear for their IELTS test and they have booked the test. So they can
Mhm.
apply in Saskatchewan Polytechnic for fall 22 intake. Apart from this, it is also great information that the student with gap can also apply, because plus two students, those who wish to apply, they can apply easily. So thank you so much, sir, for your time and
Thank you.
your information which you have shared about the institute.
Thank you so much. Thank you. All of you stay safe, stay healthy. Bye.
Thank you, sir. ਸਟੂਡੈਂਟਸ, ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਅੱਜ ਦੇਖਿਆ, ਅਸੀਂ ਸਸਕੈਚੁਅਨ ਪੋਲੀਟੈਕਨਿਕ ਦੇ ਰਿਪਰੈਜ਼ੈਂਟੇਟਿਵ ਨਾਲ ਜੁੜੇ ਸੀਗੇ, ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਾਫੀ ਇਨਫੋਰਮੇਸ਼ਨ ਸ਼ੇਅਰ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ ਇੰਸਟੀਚਿਊਟ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ। ਫਸਟ ਆਫ ਆਲ ਕੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਮੈਂ ਇਹੀ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਚਾਹੂੰਗੀ ਕਿ ਫਾਲ 22 ਇਨਟੇਕ ਲਈ options available है, काफी सारे options available हैं। IELTS requirement overall 6.5, one module 5.5 is also acceptable। PTE, Duolingo, TOEFL is also acceptable। gap acceptable है। ਇਸ ਤੋਂ ਇਲਾਵਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਸਕੈਚੁਅਨ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਅਗਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੋ, ਸਸਕੈਚੁਅਨ ਵਿੱਚ PR ਬਹੁਤ ਈਜ਼ੀ ਹੈ ਅੰਡਰ PNP ਕ੍ਰਾਈਟੇਰੀਆ। ਸੋ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਵੀ ਸਟੂਡੈਂਟਸ ਅਪਲਾਈ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਅਪਲਾਈ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਨੇ। ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਅਗਰ ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਕੁਐਰੀ ਹੈ ਜਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਇਨਫੋਰਮੇਸ਼ਨ ਲੈਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੋ ਸਸਕੈਚੁਅਨ ਪੋਲੀਟੈਕਨਿਕ ਇੰਸਟੀਚਿਊਟ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ, ਤਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਡੀ ਟੀਮ ਨੂੰ ਕੰਟੈਕਟ ਕਰੋ। ਸਾਡਾ ਹੈਲਪਲਾਈਨ ਨੰਬਰ ਹੈ 9501626000। ਇਸ ਤੋਂ ਇਲਾਵਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਫੇਸਬੁੱਕ, ਇੰਸਟਾਗ੍ਰਾਮ ਤੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਮੈਸੇਜ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। 9501626000 ਤੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ WhatsApp ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ, ਆਪਣੇ ਡਾਕੂਮੈਂਟ ਸ਼ੇਅਰ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। ਡਾਕੂਮੈਂਟਸ ਭੇਜ ਕਰਕੇ ਆਪਣੀ ਸਾਰੀ ਕੁਐਰੀਜ਼ ਦੇ ਆਨਸਰਸ ਲੈ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। ਡਾਕੂਮੈਂਟਸ ਭੇਜੋ, ਅਸੈਸਮੈਂਟ ਕਰਾਓ, ਕਿਸ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਲਈ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਐਲੀਜੀਬਲ ਹੋ वो जानना बहुत जरूरी है when you are lodging your application for Canada High Commission, क्योंकि Canada High Commission which program ਦੀ proficiency ਤੁਹਾਡੀ correlation is very important। ਇਸ ਤੋਂ ਇਲਾਵਾ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹਾਂਗੇ ਕਿ EduWings ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ। EduWings ਆਸਟ੍ਰੇਲੀਆ, USA, UK, ਨਿਊਜ਼ੀਲੈਂਡ ਦੇ ਵੀ ਵੀਜ਼ਾ ਲਈ ਅਪਲਾਈ ਕਰਵਾਉਂਦਾ ਹੈ। ਤੇ ਅਗਰ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਕੁਐਰੀ ਹੈ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕੰਟੈਕਟ ਕਰੋ। IELTS, PTE, Duolingo ਲਈ ਵੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕੰਟੈਕਟ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। ਇਸ ਤੋਂ ਇਲਾਵਾ ਵਿਜ਼ਿਟਰ ਵੀਜ਼ਾ, ਸਪਾਊਸ ਡਿਪੈਂਡੈਂਟ ਵੀਜ਼ਾ ਲਈ ਵੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕੰਟੈਕਟ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਕੁਐਰੀ ਹੈ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਅਪਡੇਟ ਦਿਓ, ਅਪਡੇਟ ਲਓ। It is very important for us to be in contact with each other. Thank you so much for watching our live session. Thank you so much.